You're watching Oilers Nation Everyday with Tyler Yaremchuk. Your one-stop shop for all things Oilers.
This is the highest I've ever been for a show. I'll explain. Let's get into it with the lead. Welcome in, Oilers Nation Every Day. We talked about it yesterday. We made it a reality. We are on the Ferris Wheel at K-Days with our friend Chris Scheetz, who is in hour what?
Hour 25.
Brought to you by Oodle Noodle. Shout out to Oodle Noodle for supporting this. Shout out to everyone who's supporting this because, I mean, there are a lot of things I want to talk about. Just maybe give the people watching the breakdown of what you're doing, why you've made it possible.
Thank you. First thing I want to say is I thought Oodle Noodle would be arriving on my lap, but maybe we can get it after. Nothing against the K-Days food, but there's nothing better than Oodle Noodle. And thank you to them for sponsoring this. You know what? We're here because we're trying to raise money for a charity, Alberta Dreams. And it's a charity that many haven't heard of, but it's been around Edmonton and Alberta for almost 40 years, 39 years. It was formerly the Rainbow Society. And 54 hours on a Ferris wheel is nothing compared to what these kids have to deal with. So that's why we're doing it.
The chat instantly noticing that this thing is moving. This is not a leisurely Ferris wheel. This thing is cooking speed-wise.
My favorite part is that you two did not realize you were going to be 120 feet in the air until you got on it, right?
Yeah, that was, for someone like me who doesn't do heights all that well, that was a little bit rattling.
I'm just choosing not to look down.
Yeah, it's true.
Great view of the city from up here. You can see Rogers Place and everything.
By the way, my wife, same thing on our wedding night. She chose not to look down. Sorry, dad joke.
That's a great, that's a great line. So you're in hour 25.
Yeah.
First 24 hours, this might sound dumb, but like harder or easier than you expected? Because the weather yesterday was kind of shit.
The weather made it, shit, we can swear, right?
Yeah,
the weather was really shitty, I'll be honest with you. But it was Alberta. But we got up at 11 o'clock, and as soon as we started, it started to rain a little bit. And then by the time we got to the top, it felt like Mount Everest, and it was like kind of snow pellets. And I'm like, are you kidding? So Eli, who's running things here for us, did a great job. We're under a tarp trying to protect his very expensive equipment that he doesn't own. But the day was great. I had so many fantastic people that stopped by and kept me company till the fireworks went off at 11. And then it was lonely time for Chris sleeping on the Ferris wheel. And as you can see, I've got the Cabela's sleeping bag here. And I'll be honest with you, I did not sleep like a baby last night. I didn't really sleep at all. It was like kind of like being on the edge of a cliff. And it was very rocky and sharp.
So I'm assuming you, when you're sleeping at night, you're parked down there, right?
Yeah.
Definitely sticking you way up at the top and being like, lights are off, see you tomorrow.
Lights are off, hope for no lightning.
Oh, that too. Yeah, I didn't even...
It's fairly close to the bottom. But I've been on it, and I will stay on it for that 54 hours. I know you're going to ask about bathroom breaks because you can't smell it. You know, it doesn't smell like
it smells awesome.
It smells good so far. Technically, when you do a record thing like this, you get 5 minutes for maintenance breaks. But Liam and I we stayed on this thing for like the first 8 hours without getting off, which is kind of alarming because that's called dehydration, probably.
Yeah.
But we did it. I used the can a couple and that was it. So once you can't, you just don't.
So, much good opportunities to do some people watching.
Oh my gosh!
What have you seen so far?
Okay, here's my random take because when I got here, and even this morning when I got off to go stream, there's like random empty bottles of alcohol everywhere. Like, so I think K-Days is a place where people like to get a little bit lit.
Yeah.
Is that just me or?
No, I think you can kind of do it all here. I lost $20 playing to throw the ball in the hoop game and you're gambling and
You're gambling, you're eating, you're drinking, you're probably smoking, I assume. There's probably a little bit of that I smell. Yeah. I thought it was skunks but I don't think it was.
You're right, Liam. You can see Rogers Place from way over there.
Honestly, the city is beautiful that direction. Don't go the other direction. No disrespect to the Coliseum. I'm a kid I was born in 1970, 54 years old. I never thought a day that arena would.
What did you remember when you looked at that?
You know what? The memory of my Brad and Dean, my cousin Brad just passed away this spring. When my cousins Brad and Dean took my brother and I to our very first game, and we stood in standing room, and the Oilers played the North Stars. My cousins gave us chewing tobacco. I swallowed it and threw up. I was 11. The Forum Inn, which is, you remember the restaurant? Older people will remember there was like the fire restaurant or whatever. And I remember going there with my cousins after I regained my appetite after throwing up from the chewing tobacco. And Glenn Sonmore, the coach of the Minnesota North Stars, was there, and we got his autograph. Oh, so, wow. I mean, and you guys have never even heard of Glenn Sonmore. And the sad part is I can't remember anything about yesterday, but I know the restaurant, and I was there with my brother, and we sat in standing room, and that was my very first Oiler game.
Do you have any playoff memories in there? Did you ever get to go to like a big playoff? Like, did you go to a?
Oh well, I 2006. The beef tossing was obvious, but I went to other games. Okay, I'll give you my favorite playoff memory besides 2006. I think it was in about 2002, maybe. The Oilers were playing against the Dallas Stars. I don't know if you ever heard of that before, but it happened.
Yeah.
And I had gotten a vasectomy the day before. And you can look at the game. The one game, Bill Guerin got a hat trick, and I stood up, hat, and my stitch popped, and my vasectomy, without a word of a lie. And so my son's with me, the vasectomy, and he was like 3, and we came home, and again, I can tell this story. This is too much information for someone. Was a rod below. And I went into the bedroom, and I pulled hands to mirror. My son Carter is now a firefighter. He came. He was doing it down, and my vasectomy spot, and he went, "Daddy, ow!" When he grabbed himself, he knew it was like he knew. You know how the geese know to fly south?
Yeah.
That was a bad thing. Like at 3 years old.
That was trouble.
But I remember the hat trick goal, and the Oilers won the game, and it was only one stitch, as I would say. Like, whoops.
Yeah, I mean, one stitch in a relatively important spot, I suppose, but one stitch, I guess. If people in the chat want to donate, we already put the link in there. We're ahead of the game.
Yes.
The goal for raising money.
Yes, $54,000. The goal is 54 hours, $1,000 an hour. I can tell you guys, we're at 1,000 right now, including that donate from Oodle Noodle this hour. So we're at 36, but that doesn't mean we're don't need your help. You can go online, albertadreams.ca. $4 will make a huge difference to us giving these dreams to these children, which I can talk about whenever you want.
Yeah, well, let's do it right now. Then.
Sure.
I have some other questions. I have some other areas I want, but we should absolutely focus on charity a little bit. Like when you say like make these dreams happen, what are you referencing?
So a lot of people say like make a wish. The answer to that question is yes, but we kind of highlight severely and chronically ill children. So children with all sorts of disorders and unfortunate things that have happened in their life. For example, Evie, who was the very first person on the bucket with me, she's 7 years old. She was 4 months premature, if you can believe it, and 700 grams when she was born. She's got a lot of challenges. She's 7 years old now, but she loves water. They can't get her out of the bathtub, and that's not much fun for a 7-year-old. So they take her to hotels as much as they can to go swimming. We helped her get a swim spa in their backyard, and so now Evie can be in that backyard swim spa, right? There was Ariane, a young girl, 17 years old, who camps with her mom, single mom, and grandmother. They love to camp, and they go camping with all their friends and family, but she's got a lot of severe issues. So camping in a tent just didn't work. It rains 2 inches and it's just gross. We helped them get a tent trailer, and now they're camping all summer. We've got a young boy out near Vegreville who has uncontrollable tumors that just show up. They're not cancerous, fortunately, but they require treatment at the Stollery every 3 months. So he wanted an epic skating rink, so we're building him one with all the whistles of a rink. So those are the kinds of things that are happening all over Alberta. 300 different communities in this province. I know you got people that watch all over Alberta.
Oh, yeah.
And if they watch right now, there's a very good chance a dream has happened in their community.
Yeah, that's really cool. And those are unique too. It's not just like the classic, trip to Disneyland or whatever, right? It's
we do those, but not as much, quite honestly. And nothing against Disneyland is my favorite place on earth next to K-Days. on the Ferris wheel. But these are lifelong things that you can absolutely. These families can camp their lives. They can swim for the rest of their lives. They can play hockey backyard for their lives. It's a really cool thing. So I'm excited to get involved in.
Okay, since we just went up and I got a good look at thing, and I'm also someone with a relatively weak stomach.
Yeah.
Are you at all worried? And we got this question in the chat yesterday. They're like, when you finally get off this, are you worried you're going to be all like woozy and 20 minutes in, I'm a little like, oh.
Like you wonder about sea legs. Like I can't drive home. I don't know. Like, you know, I don't know. But something will be a ride home. You don't know what happens. Apparently, they've done the math. Hours I will go around over 1,300 times. So,
oh my God.
Wow. So how did you come up with the idea on the first wheel?
You know what? I've done these crazy things in my career. 35 years at Kissin' Country, and drove the Zamboni from Calgary to Edmonton. And,
I remember that one.
Yeah, and you know, doing these silly things. But I wanted to be this person that could say I was on an amusement park ride the longest, like for whatever reason. And again, my life, and she's dead right. My therapist says, your wife's dead right. But she says, I thought you were done with this stuff. It's 54 years old. You're a grandpa now. But this is kind of one that I kind of knock off if I could. And, you know, to involve the charity just makes a lot of sense. And involve K-Days and Explore Edmonton. They've been just brilliant in helping make this happen. So I don't know where this stuff comes from, but it comes to me. Here we are.
Has there been one of these you just mentioned, like the Zamboni? I remember that one. That was not long ago, right?
During COVID.
Yeah, it was during
COVID because it was for the food bank. And the funny thing about the Zamboni was a couple of interesting things. We got one of the from the Coliseum.
Oh, really?
One from the 1990s. My friend Wilf Brooks. I don't know if you've ever Wilf.
No.
Wilf was one of the original owners of United Motorcycle, and he got me as and we modified it to make it drive not faster. It only went 20 kilometers an hour. But we modified this thing. We got it going so we could. I worked with transportation for literally months because they wouldn't let us go on the QE2 with a Zamboni. I don't know why. It's the weirdest thing. Yeah. But I had to go around back roads. And the Friday before I was going to leave on the Monday to do this, I was riding bike in the River Valley. I know what you're saying when you look at me. You ride bike? Poor bike. But anyway, I hit construction. I went over the handlebars. I broke my nose and my wrist. I'll show you the picture.
Yeah,
it's the most alarming thing. My face was just road rash, and everybody's like, well, you can't drive the Zamboni now. And I'm like, let's just not tell the insurance company I'm only using one hand, and I'm going to ride that thing. And then it was like 33 degrees every day. My peeling and scabby, but we raised $30,000 for the food bank because during COVID they were really hurting, and I always wanted to drive a Zamboni from Edmonton to Calgary.
Has there been one of these challenges or things you've done where, like, the first 24 hours we talked about it, but, like, has there ever been one where, like, you're like, mistake?
Yeah, all of them. All of them on it. It's like renovating your house as soon as you start, but then once you get it done, you're like, you forget all that. I haven't had a baby, but I think it's like that. It's all the in between, and then you get the. So at the end of this, when I've got the riding with me at the very end, and we hopefully get to our total of $54,000, it will all be worth it. But yeah, quite honestly, most of the stuff is very difficult to do because. The lawyers, the world is a different place, right?
Your life insurance policies calling you, be like, hey, come on,
yeah,
you can't drive the Zamboni.
You can, can you do a Ferris wheel? And just we can talk about this. Just before you got on the Ferris wheel, they were doing a little bit of maintenance to the Ferris wheel and
hammering parts with rubber mallets and whatnot. And I'm like, all right.
And I said, you never want to see how they make the sausage. No, nobody ever. I love Oodle Noodle, but I got no interest in seeing how it happens. I just want to eat the food.
Yeah.
No, that's when everyone's like, do you know what's inside a hot dog? I don't care. They taste amazing.
Yeah, whatever.
Don't tell me.
It's lips and assholes.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
So obviously we're on the Ferris wheel with you. You've had people before us. Like, that's probably the best part about it is like you're not just here alone.
Oh my gosh,
that would be brutal.
It's been great, and I've had some very I'll say it. Ashley Collingbull. You guys know Ashley?
Yeah.
So Ashley came. I mean, again, you can ride
good company. Yeah.
She's good company. I worked with her with the football team for a year. She was my co-host on the field, and I thought, okay, Ashley Collingbull. She's the first Indigenous Sports Illustrated swimsuit model. I'm with a diva, quite honestly. Opposite of a diva, like just the nice, as beautiful as she is, she's actually nicer, which is kind of weird, because she doesn't have to be. So she's been on. I'm going to have Jordy's not an Oiler, but Jordy's a really good friend of the family, and so he's coming on at 4:30 today. I sent him a Snapchat of them working on the Ferris wheel, and he said, "That's what we're going on." You'll be fine. The NHLPA has a good life insurance too, so I'm looking forward to talking to Jordy. They've made some additions to that hockey team. Everybody says Carolina beat us in 2006, but I'm always kind of cheering for them too because of Jordy. I always thought he'd be a great Oiler. Like, he would have fit perfect, wouldn't he?
He's one of those guys who, like, the fan base as a whole love a blue collar hard worker. You don't need to score goals. I mean, Yaremchuk is the perfect example of the whole thing.
Yeah, and I think with what makes Minot good too is like played in Drayton Valley.
Yeah,
made his way to the Dove. Like, he did it the hard way.
No, he was a late bloomer, like so late.
Yeah.
My brother-in-law Darcy Pollock coached him, and he could skate like the wind. Yeah. But there was nobody that said that kid's the one that's going to the NHL, like, ever. Yeah. But he defied all the odds, and he was drafted twice, or he was in he was an overage in his draft year, and he just works. Like, obviously it's Rod Brindamore's style.
Yeah.
Right. And that's why Rod Brindamore last year in the playoffs had some of the effective. Jordan Stahl and Rod Brindamore are my best players. We got problems here, guys. But they were their best players. Yeah. Right.
Oh, we're back down at the bottom again. I'm not. Are you like, if you were to come to K-Days any other year but this one, are you like a rides guy? Like, are you going on the Gravitron?
No, not anymore. I don't like spinning anymore.
That's my thing.
Spinning. The older you get, the less you want to spin.
Yeah.
So you know what? I don't know if I would be going on all the rides, to be honest. But this will probably be enough for a while for me, I think.
I'll be good to you.
I think the ultimate question is, would you go on a Ferris wheel again?
Yeah. Maybe I start touring the world and
riding,
you know what?
Ferris wheels.
Some of the Ferris wheels can be nasty. This one isn't. There's the ones that go back and forth and do some crazy things. The one in Disney, I'm not a real big fan of the one, to be honest. But this one moves. I don't know how many miles an hour we're going, but we're clipping.
Honestly, and when you said 54 hours, you were like, I'm going to do 1,300 rotations. With how fast we're going, I was honestly going to be like, that number actually I feel like is going to be higher.
You thought 1 million.
Yeah, like I feel like we've ripped around this 80 times in the last 20 minutes. I know we haven't.
We're probably making people sick right now just watching it.
Probably.
Well, and that's not just because of who we are.
A couple people have said in the chat, I can't watch, I'm just going to listen.
I like Ryan just keeps being like, why is it moving so fast? Who's operating this? Yeah, man, I wish I could give you an answer to that. We are cooking. I don't feel great. I like the rides where it's not just movement for the sake of movement. It's like, I'll do a roller coaster because there's some to it, but like the one where you're just spinning
like
in a circle.
It doesn't make sense to you?
Yeah, it's just like, I don't understand what the rush is there. I was telling Liam, I came to K-Days the first year I was dating my girlfriend, and she saw the ring of fire that just loops around. She's like, let's try it. Like, you got to do it with me. And I was like, okay, yeah, I can. Oh, a big macho guy? Yeah. And it goes around whatever. I think I counted like 14 times you do the loop.
Right.
And it finally ends, and I'm like, thank God that's over. Like, I'm going to throw up. And the guy goes, hey, there's no one in line. I'll give y'all a freebie. And he fires it up again, and I just had my eyes closed for like 10 minutes as I like wore around on this thing. I hate those rides.
That's exactly what happens in Devon. The Devon Days Fair they would have, and there'd be nobody there. My son went on it once, and so they just kept these kids just spinning because nobody else is there. So then I remember he filled up the back seat of my buddy's BMW because he just, that's kind of what happens. But no, the rides are fun, but I get it. You like to go. Roller coasters are by far my favorite.
Yeah.
I love roller coasters. I don't think there's wouldn't go on. You see those. Sometimes you get on TikTok, and all of a sudden that's all you see is roller coasters.
Yeah.
And political stuff, but mostly roller. And I love a really good roller coaster.
Tell us a little bit about the podcast with Bailey.
Yeah. So thank you. We have a podcast. It's called Talking Sheets, and basically what happened was, when she'd come in, she'd fill in sometimes when I was doing the morning show. That was like, no disrespect, because I love Jack and Matt that I worked with. They were great. But obviously when you're working with your daughter, it's just the best.
Yeah.
She's, I'm not, of course I'll say it because she's my daughter, but she's really, the next generation is definitely smarter than the last in this case. And so it's going real well. She's just, she's a lot of fun. And she talks pop culture and things like that. I just talk about being a pop, and it kind of works out.
Yeah. Where are you from?
Yeah, absolutely.
Did you do one from the Ferris wheel? Or we
one. It's on YouTube. So Eli doesn't know we might be doing another one here just to kind of do another one. Eli said he's.
I saw his Instagram stories yesterday. However long it was, 9 hours here. He looked like he was having a blast.
Yeah, you can't tell with Eli. Like he's the guy that could be making love with a frown. Like it's weird. So I can't tell really, but I think he had a good day. Yeah, he's going thumbs up. Okay.
You were obviously in like media in Edmonton for 35 years working at Kissin. What's it been like stepping away from that? Do you still have the itch to be like out there? And I mean, like the podcast with Bailey has, working with your daughter, all that.
That's kind of the itch that has been scratched, but I miss the moments. I don't miss the grind, like the morning show grind. It's like, I was never a morning person, which sounds crazy.
Because people always say like, oh, you'll get used to it.
No, never. I'm a late night. My wife's a late night. My whole family is. My granddaughter now goes to bed at midnight, right? So, I mean, that's the way we are. So you go to bed at midnight and get up at 4 for months at a time. You're not healthy. And so mornings is where you want to go because you get paid the most. And it's kind of like the place to be in radio. But you just, it just takes its toll. So at a certain point you go 35 years at one radio station. I have not heard of another person that can make it. Like to the day, I worked May 9th, 1989 to 2024, May 9th or 10th. I keep saying 9th for some reason, but to have that radio station, to do everything at that radio station and look at yourself and go, there's nothing else to do. What do you do? So then you find something like this, which allows you to continue to do what you love, which is be stupid and help charity.
Yeah, and you're such a staple in the community as well. Liam, you got anything else? What's the chat up to?
Well, the chat just keeps making jokes about the Ferris wheel.
Yeah, I believe it.
Lance said, I worked with my dad for like 5 years. It had it ups and downs like a Ferris wheel. Lance also donated.
Oh, Lance donated. Very good.
Hey, thanks, buddy. Keep if you can't Alberta Dream Studs. Yeah, I want to talk Oilers though. Is what I want to talk.
Let's talk a little Oilers then.
I want to. How would everybody feel after the second year of getting so close but yet so far?
I love it because there's nothing like, and I mean, listen, I'm born in 97. I was 8 or 9 years old in 06, whatever it was. So like these last two runs, getting to actually like experience it after hearing all those other stories, there is nothing like this city come playoff time. And these last two springs have just been so much fun where it's like every second night for 2 months, you're like, everyone's buzzing. You see jerseys everywhere. It's great. It's sad that we didn't get to end either one of them with a parade. And I do feel like going through the day-to-day of it, being as close to it as we are, you lose the perspective of how close they got. Like losing in Game 7 in the moment when it's like flying to Florida, do this, like, your head's a blur.
Bounce.
And you look back and you're like, oh shit, yeah, like one goal changes everything. There's a banner up and there would have been a parade and all this if you really found a way to just score one more goal in a Game 7. So you recognize how tough it is to get there. But I also think even with this summer being what it was, they're still really damn good. Like I don't think we're going 3 years without another trip to the Cup final. I think they're that good.
Yeah, I agree with you. And you're talking about goals. Obviously, the first year seemed more heartbreaking because we seemed to be closer than we were the second year. But you talk about goals. Yeah, you score the first goal in a couple of those games, and who knows what happens in those games, right? Yeah. And my line is, I mean, I share it with a lot of friends, and I'll share it here. It's like we played a team. We missed Zach Hyman, and we played a team of Zach Hymans. In a lot of respect, they're so hungry for the puck, and you learn. But the reality, it could have 3 Stanley Cups, because I truly believe if we would have got past
Colorado,
not Colorado, we never got past Colorado. No. Who's the other guys we played? Vegas. We got to got by Vegas. They won the Cup. I kind of think we would have won that year, and Connor's got to be looking at going, man, I could have 3 of these darn things, but it's coming. I like the moves of the year. It's so funny because again, I'm a fan, and you take it personally. After that last game, you're like, oh God, we're gonna have to go through all this again. I don't care anymore. And then the next day, you're like, okay, what's happening in free agency? Yeah, right. Like
I like that they went and got younger, though. I mean,
for sure.
We've obviously spent a lot of time talking about that, but like, I think this team could stand have a little refresh. I think if you would have just ran it back and kept the Canes of the world and all that, you run the risk of the room getting a little stale.
Yeah.
I think adding some youthful excitement, I think it re-energizes everyone. I think it re-energizes the fans, having like some kids to root for. I think the guys in the room, it maybe keeps you on your toes a little bit, lets you have a bit more fun, which you might need. Because like if you go into next season being like October 10th or 8th, whenever the season starts, it's all about the Stanley Cup and not about getting through the season. I think there can be some danger to your room getting stale.
I agree. And a farmer analogy is like, you know, and we got no dogs that are dying here, but again, when the dogs are getting older, you usually bring in a puppy. The older ones, and that puppy, all of a sudden that older dog is jumping around and doing things it wasn't doing before that puppy came, right? And that's kind of my analogy with their pickups and what they've done. Savoy, you know, everybody's got some pretty high expectations for him.
Yeah, and Howard too. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I think the room really missed that youth. Like they openly came out and said how much they missed Holloway and Broberg and everything.
Yeah.
So I think those guys are going to have a big impact. And I worked a little bit with Savoy when I worked for the Crusaders, and he was there during COVID, and like there is nobody that works harder than him, and he knows he's such an incredible player, and still is like, I think people forget how good he is. He was an overall pick. Like, I think he can have a huge impact on the team.
Yeah.
There are a handful of debates that are very divisive in the fan base. One's Darnell Nurse. I don't like doing the Darnell Nurse thing, but the goaltending is always divisive. Where do you come out on the goaltending?
If you look at my social media, I'm a Stuart Skinner supporter. I'm
one of us.
I'm a huge supporter, and people are starting to talk about it a lot more. I mean, I hear Gregor talking about it and others about the fact that is he 58th most highest paid goalie? I'm picking that number, but he's
probably pretty close.
Way up there. And again, when you're comparing a goalie that gets paid that to a forward that gets paid between Bobrovsky, obviously you're going to see those things. But I just I've been a Skinner guy. I really am. You're getting great bang for your buck, and I know that there's people that just don't. I wanted to see with that Stanley Cup over his head so bad because he deserves it. I know he's a great, and I know it doesn't matter if he's a great guy. Is a great guy, and I don't ever going to hold a Stanley Cup over my head. But yeah, I'm a Stuart Skinner guy, and it drives me crazy. And I know you guys, it's part of what you do is getting, you know, the fans get riled up and stuff like that. But I'm just like, take a breath, and really look at this fairly, because we did not lose either of these Stanley Cups because of Stuart Skinner. We did not. It's that simple. And I know the fact that he let goals in towards the early parts of those games, but we didn't score early in those games when we had chances in many of those games.
I know everyone talks about that Reinhart goal in 2024 in Game 7, and it's like the Oilers, and we've done this so many times. The Oilers scored once.
Yeah,
you're the Oilers. You score 3 goals, you win every game. Like, come on. Yeah. Like, I'm such a sucker for a good being a local boy and all that. But when he hit the crease back this year, and it was shutout against Vegas, and then he dominated Dallas, it was like, man, it felt like a storybook kind of ending thing where like he finally figured out he's going to have his moment. It made the last game so heartbreaking because he didn't play well, and that's what's going to stick in people's. But the front office for not making a move for the sake of move. Like, if you could have gone out and done find a star level goalie that you can afford and acquire, do it. They also said $3 million for 2 goalies because
there were times when I'm like, this guy is athletic. He's next level goaltender, and I thought, that would be a good guy to get, but too risky. I think they're in a good position in that way, and I know that there'll be people on the stream that completely disagree. I see them on X all the time, but I think for what we're paying him, for the experience he's got, for the age that he is, that's the other thing. I know you guys talk about it a lot. He was put into a position that he wasn't supposed to be in. Obviously Jack Campbell was supposed to be the guy, and that turned out to be a colossal
This was
failure.
Supposed to be year 4 of the Campbell deal coming up.
Right.
And this was really, when you looked at their grand plan, this was the first year Stuart Skinner took on any amount of a starter's work. Crazy. He's been to 2 cup finals way ahead of schedule.
Yeah, no, exactly, right? So, I'll defend him. So that's what I take on that. Yeah, you're right. Darnell Nurse, it's tough. I mean, man, if you could turn back time, he probably wouldn't have signed that deal, and they wouldn't have offered it, obviously, because it's a tough amount of money to pay him. But I'm also a Bouchard fan, so maybe, and I used to have to be a Draisaitl fan in this community. Like, literally,
when he first sign that contract, or
I literally, and I said this, and it still hasn't happened. I said, when the Oilers win the Stanley Cup, Leon Draisaitl will be the one that holds the Conn Smythe over his head. Connors won one. They didn't win the cup. I know that we are impatient in this town, and it's easy because I'm 54. I saw 5 Stanley Cups. For kids like you guys and my son and my daughter, I mean, you just want it to happen. And so do I, but I understand the passion in this town is unheard of anywhere else.
Do you still do work?
You know what? I don't.
Okay.
I was there for 17 years as the on-field host, and it was my favorite job.
Yeah?
My favorite job. I literally got to introduce the players out of the tunnel, and I got the job, if you don't mind me saying. It's kind of a cool sports story.
Yeah.
Hugh Campbell, the legendary Hugh Campbell, when I used to work the overnight show on Kissin' Country doing overnights, football coaches and general managers work weird hours. He used to listen to the show, and I saw him at one. I was just like, an overnight job. And he says, "How do you do, Chris? I think I'm going to be part of the team." And I'm like, first of all, I grew up watching, again, Glenn Sather, Hugh Campbell. Yeah. I mean, we're the 2 legends that I grew up with, and for him to even say that, and then he got me the job, and I did it. Commonwealth over there for 17 years, and had so much fun. Some of those years were even tough before the tough years. Make some noise with me. It was like Chelsea Brian Jesperson, but did such a great job. I had a chance to do a couple, and that was a thrill for me. But I wear my heart on my sleeve, and so if the team would just have given up a bad goal and it was time for a T-shirt toss, I would be like, all right, everybody, let's go. Get up. I can't believe that goal went in the net. T-shirt toss. I'm too connected. Even Bailey said, Dad, you care way too much. Even during the playoffs, I slapped a wall. I punched it when that goal went in on Leon with a second left in that game. I got a little upset, but we're just fans. We can't help it.
And it is again, I remember went in, and in hindsight, they won that series 4-1.
Yeah,
it was never close. No, I just remember laying in bed being like, "Yep, that's the moment we're gonna They just blew this whole season."
Well, it's an Oiler thing to do, and again, we threw it. I mean, everybody in this, Daryl Cates should pay for therapy for everybody in the town because we've all been through it, right?
Yeah.
And so you're just waiting, and I know when it happens, and it's going to happen before these guys leave. Connor, you guys have any indication on what he's going to sign?
When he's going to sign?
What he's going to sign?
I think it's 8 years. I still hope it's
just
that long.
With Leon, right? In fairness to his buddy.
And everyone talks about they're going to have to trade him. It's well, you do realize when they trade him to that team, they're going to take away some great players from that team too.
Yeah.
It's not.
It won't be like the Gretzky trade where we got Jimmy and who else did we get?
Is Jimmy Carson on our top 100 Oilers list?
That's a great question, actually. We're doing a top 100 Oilers list right now.
Did we get Bernie Nichols too? No, we got Bernie Nichols from the Rangers.
Yeah, but there was random players.
There was somebody on the. They'll tell us. I mean, I should know. There was
Krushelnyski. Was he in that deal?
No. Krushelnyski was here as an Oiler long before that. Yeah. Who else? Come on. Who else was in the Gretzky trade? For heaven's sake. I know Jimmy Carson was one of them. I think they wanted Luke Robitaille, and they wouldn't make that trade. Did we get any defensemen?
Okay, I got it. Marty McSorley. Oh, no. Jimmy Carson, Marty Jelena. The picks were Jason Miller, Martin Roshinsky, and Nick Stajic.
So, I don't know, but they missed on the 3 first-round picks they got, but Krushelnyski went with Gretzky.
Yes, he did.
To LA. That's why his name was in my head.
Yeah, tough trade. There was $20 million involved too, which was the reason why it happened. But that was brutal. Obviously, if you got the value for Wayne Gretzky, well, then the Kings would have been terrible. Yeah, with Wayne Gretzky and nobody else, right?
Wayne Gretzky went on to score 54 goals and 168 points in his first season in LA.
Yeah, he was good, eh?
Tough trade.
We were making silage in the farm thing, and I remember getting the radio. That's how we used to get news on the radio, guys. And literally stopping at the end of the row and crying, like literally crying. I did the mess thing, or I did the thing Mess said not to do. Yeah. But but we had, I'll say this, as a city, we had started taking that team for granted. And we really did, because you guys can't even imagine. You can't imagine what that was like.
I can't imagine one Stanley Cup.
Yeah, let alone that many. So we took them for granted. And that's why when 2006 came around, when 1990 came and they won the cup that year without Wayne. And again, one of my favorite memory of all of that arena is the Oilers are playing the Winnipeg Jets in 1990. They're down in the series, and they're down 3-1 in game 3 or 4, whatever game it is. And Dale Yaremchuk gets a breakaway, and Bill Ranford makes the save. Oilers come back and win that game, win the series in 7 games, win the Stanley Cup. You talk about those moments that happen in, literally, that was the year that the Jets might have actually won the cup. Like, if they'd beat the Oilers, they would have won the cup.
And do they ever leave if they have a cup? And there probably is like a domino effect in NHL history.
Bill Ranford makes that save, and I know you're surprised to hear that, but he did the old cartwheel save and made that save. That was my friend Scott Phillips, who's a radio announcer, and I were up there. One more thing. I know I'm talking way too much. I had a little TV. And it was a little Casio, and it had a screen about like this. It's funny because now we got screens like that on our phones. But I had this thing, and I had batteries in it, like 4 AA's, and there was no replay screen or anything like that. So I took it, I tuned into CBC, and I had my little Casio so we could see replays.
Oh my God!
And we were up in the
That's innovation.
Yeah, and when the Oilers scored one of their goals, I dropped my Casio. The batteries went flying. I remember that. My friend Scott, who's now passed away, and was a huge Oiler fan, and then moved to go do radio in Calgary, which was a tough thing for him because he was a huge Oiler fan. Yeah. But they didn't have I literally brought my TV to watch the replays. People used to bring their radios, right, at the game. It was crazy times.
I always say that's my dream, is to have headphones in, be listening to the radio of a baseball game. I want to be one of those weirdos who sits at a Blue Jays games and scores it. Yeah, has a little book. I love those guys. Those are the real diehards.
You know what? Yeah, and they got every game since they've ever gone. How about those Blue Jays? Oh my gosh!
Are you a baseball guy too?
Oh, yeah, my grandpa George, huge Blue Jays fan. He's passed away now, but he would be so excited for this season that we never saw coming. Yeah, it is so exciting.
I tweeted this the other day. At the beginning of this season, when it was if Vladdy doesn't sign, they're trading him at the deadline. Yeah. And then that means they're probably trading Bo. And it was so sad because when that opening day hit and, took Vladdy at his word that he was not going to sign an extension once opening day hit. And it's man, I'm going to watch this team get dismantled. Yeah. And this is the beginning of the Blue Jays' decade of darkness probably.
Yes.
And then Lions, everything changes. And if they would have been 3 games out of a playoff spot right now, I would have been thrilled.
Oh yeah.
They're 4 games up on the division.
Yeah.
What?
First time since I barely had pubic hair when they were in seriously.
Pre-vasectomy.
Definitely pre-vasectomy. And how exciting is that? And the funny thing is, and I know Bailey says I don't use irony right, but is that Vladimir is not having a great year?
No, they're doing it in the weirdest possible way.
These young guys come up and you're like, what's that guy's name? Oh, he just got a double. It's
Joey Loperfito's batting 700 since they recalled him 3 weeks ago. It's what?
It is it's so good. How we hate the Toronto Maple Leafs so badly, but love the Toronto Blue Jays so much.
I know. It's great. All right. I guess we'll probably wrap up here in a second. What are you doing when the fireworks go off and it's quiet? Yeah. Are you watching shows on your phone? How are you entertaining yourself?
You know what? Last night I got a Rolodex of people I'm trying to get money from. So I'm hammering people overnight.
Working the phone lines.
Just the whole you up kind of a thing.
Wait and see if they've had a couple drinks in them. Just, hey, here's the donation link.
Oh yeah. I'm hoping to get my buddy Brett Sake. You know Brett, right?
Oh yeah. You'll go. You will.
He's coming at 10 tonight. I'm hoping that I know I'm going to get some good money from him.
Have you played in one of those marathon games?
I have. I did baseball once, and I'm a terrible baseball player, and I can't throw. I throw brutal, I'm a brutal thrower. So they put me at first. Okay. At the end of that thing, my legs, I had taken so many shots off my ankles, because we played. I can't remember how many. And I was way younger than a bunch of my guys on my team, so they just kept putting me out. I was hitting okay. I think I hit almost 300, but I mean the pitching was not great after you pitched 7,000 times. But I've done that once. I would never do hockey. I think that
seems so
is
difficult.
literally the hardest thing that you could possibly do. I heard Karius say he's done it 5 times. You should honestly get a fast pass to heaven for that.
Well, either the weather is awful,
right,
and you're
like
miserable,
below,
or the weather's too good and playing the hockey sucks.
You can't skate on the ice, like it's melting.
Yeah, the odds of you getting the perfect weather for that stretch is like so slim. Like at least baseball, if it's shitty and it's raining,
baseball was fun.
You go to the dugout and like whatever. Like hockey. I don't know if I could ever do that.
Baseball was fun. Like it was fun, but that hockey, I'm crazy for doing this for 54 hours. Those guys, psychotic.
Yeah, it's wild.
It's that simple.
All right, we appreciate you letting us join you.
Oh man, I appreciate you guys, and I appreciate Oodle Noodle for sponsoring this hour. Love me some Oodle Noodle.
Love Oodle Noodle.
What's the song? How does it go?
Oh, the radio.
Oodle Noodle 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 Nude. Oodle Noodle Nude. There you go.
That's the best ad they could ask for. Best of luck. We'll put the donation link back in the YouTube for everybody again. But yeah, best of luck. Hopefully you sleep good tonight.
I won't. Thank you. Thank you, Oilers Nation fans. And if you can help out again, even $54, it all adds up. Alberta Dreams. Trust me, if you've met one of these kids, you'd want to do this for them.
I know it didn't look like a usual edition of the show, but thank you to everybody who tuned in. Hopefully the audio is all right on the podcast front as well. But that's a wrap on today's edition of the show. A very special, very high in the air edition of the program. Shout out to Chris, everything he's doing for Alberta Dreams. Once again, we'll chat with you all a little bit later on in the week. Oil up.